Hi everyone, it's Kathy Lake here, UK guest designer for Bello's Designs, and today I wanted to show you a card I created using the new release Lavinia stamps that are available to order from Bello's Designs. To create this scene I used some Multifarious card that I cut the card 4.25 inches by 6.25 inches, and then I chose a backing card. I chose a lilac colour in 4.5 inches by 6.5 inches, and then I had a card blank, once folded, measured 7 inches by 5 inches. For the stamping I used the VersaFine Clair Nocturne. For the backgrounds I used the Distress Oxide Seedless Preserves and Distress Oxide Dusty Concord. I also used for this project some Sweet Poppy low tack stencil tape, and I have a little moon mask. I have a couple of blending brushes for the backgrounds. You can use whichever blending tool you like. And for the stamping and stenciling, first of all, for the stenciling I used the Leaf Trails stencil. For the stamping I used the mini button LAV 713, the LAV 712 Liberty, the LAV 719 Bellflower Vine, the LAV 718 Million Munch, the LAV 710 Bogart, and the Lavinia 033 Bulrushes. Just in case you're wondering why I have different coloured dots on my stamps, is because it's a reference for myself. I tend to file them and store them in order, so I have pink for any floral ones, blue for anything that's related to aqua, to the sea or the water, red for animals, and green for bushes. So it's just something I find useful to me to help me find them when I need them quickly. Right, starting with the card, I'm going to make a start with the Seedless Preserves. Just stamp off some of the ink onto my mat. And I'm just starting at the edges first to get the most of it off there. Just gently, very lightly go over the whole area so that I get a very, very light pink background. And then using my moon mask, do that a little bit firmer around there. Right. And then using the Dusty Concord on the bottom, again I'm going to tap off quite a lot from there. And this one, you'll notice I've turned it sideways because it's easier to do this for me. I'm just going along in straight lines because I want it to look like water. So I don't want circles, I just want straight lines all the way across. And then turning it over the other way, I do the same from that side. That's fine. And then using a little bit on my mat, I'm going to get the stencil. I'm going to lightly stencil in the Dusty Concord, which was already on the brush, just taking the little bit that was on my mat, not new ink. I'm just going to give a gentle, just going over the edges a bit firmer than the side, and I'm not going on over the moon. And then I have a pattern like that. So now I'm going to get the pink brush again and just go over it a bit more, and a little bit on there too. So so it's not such a stark white. And that's done. Now for the stamping. Let's turn it over for the stamping. And this is the Liberty, which is the slightly bigger boat out of the two new boats from Lavinia. And I want the flower to be hanging over the moon, so I'm going to put it about there. And hold it down firmly. It's a very, very pretty stamp. I can see this being a favourite. That's fine. And now I'm going to use the Bellflower Vine. My ink is a little bit well used, so I'm having to stamp it quite a bit. I haven't got a replacement yet. That one there. And another one here. That's fine. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And then we're going to have the little button stamp. Button stamp can just balance on the end of the boat. And I'm going to have some bulrushes. In the corner here. Then I'm going to use a bit of a tape off that section. So I'm just masking that bulrush there, so I just get the two smaller ones. There you can go. And we're going to have Bogart, and I'm not sure if Bogart's a frog or a toad. And I'm going to have him swimming down here in the corner. Next we're going to have Millie and Munch. I'm going to do Munch first, or Millie first, whichever one this one is. And again I'm going to use a bit more stencil tape because I only want him to be about halfway up, like that. So I'm covering up the bottom part of the stamp, so only the top part will be seen in the boat. Now because the boat is diagonal and he's square, I just I'm going to use my pencil here to blend him in a bit. There we go. And the same with the other little character. So I'm going to do him slightly on the angle and see if that comes out any better. He can be sniffing the flowers up there. I had to be careful there because there's a couple of buttons. So I had to do them a bit higher than I would have if it had been straight. I'll just touch him up a little bit. There we go. And now it comes to colouring. So I'm going to start with a blue pencil, and where you can see there's a slight difference, I'm going to start just literally doing some lines. Do that bit a bit harder, and these bits much lighter. It's just to give an impression of water. I'm just doing lines across. Do those a bit darker around there. I'm quite happy with that. So I'm going to colour the bottom of the boat in the same blue quite firmly. I'm going to use different pressures on colouring this boat because I don't want it to be all the same colour. I want it to look a bit like it's been, parts of it have come off over time, so it's a bit distressed. And then I'm going to give it the purple. Again, some of it darker than others to add to the distressed look. And I'm going to do the buttons in the pinkish tone. If you don't have polychromo pencils, you can always use normal colouring pencils. These are just quite good for blending, but it really doesn't matter. If you only have the normal colouring pencils, they'll be fine. And I'm going to add a little bit of lilac to those two. Right, and then I'm going to colour the flowers in a pink gel pen. And then the green. we go. Now I'm going to do the white around the eyes of the frog. And the white. I'm also going to do some white lines along the water. When they dry up, they won't show very much. And then his spots. While I'm letting that dry, I'm just going to smooth the black a little bit better so it blends more. Right, and then using a glue of your choice, I choose a runner glue because that's what I prefer to use. There it is, it's all done. A nice little water scene with the new Lavinia stamps. I do hope you enjoyed this and you found it useful. And if you haven't already joined, would you consider joining our Del Bello 2 Facebook groups? We have a Del Bello Lavinia Lounge for all Lavinia stamps. And we also have a Del Bello a la carte for all of the other brands that Patty stocks in Del Bello stores. So I really hope to catch up with you on there, and please share your work because we love to see what people are doing with the stamps. So thank you for joining me. Bye bye.